Hey everybody, it's Tamika. I'm here to share with you a tutorial on how I created this super cute mixed media album that I created using a guest design team package from Country Craft Creations. It's super cute and I absolutely love it. If you have not checked out the video of how this album came to be, then check the description box below, and hopefully you guys will create one using the products that I've used. The links will be in the description box. Here's the tutorial. Okay, to start us out, we are going to need 2 pieces of chipboard cut at 5 by 7, and then 1 piece of chipboard at 2 by 7, so that lines up perfectly. And then I'm going to use 2 pieces of the 12 by 12 cardstock that came into my kit. This is a navy blue. It looks black on here, but it's a really pretty navy blue color. So what I'm going to start out is adding adhesive to the back of my chipboard so that it will be sturdy on top of my cardstock. And I'm using double-sided adhesive that I got from Tuesday Morning. I did several hauls when they had them in stock. I went and grabbed a few, and then I went back and got some of the red line. So I can put those hauls below in the description box if you guys are interested. They may still have them. I like to grab them when I see them because they're not always there. So I am just adding some double-sided tape to the back. I want to make sure that it doesn't make that awful creaking sound when you open and close the mini album. Alright, just make sure that's on there nice and good. I'm going to set those aside for a quick moment. I am going to adhere my blue cardstock together to make it a little bit longer, because the 12 by 12 won't be enough as is. I'll have to attach 2 pieces together. So I'm just adding 2 pieces of cardstock, 2 pieces of double-sided tape to this cardstock, and I'm going to attach them together. And when you're doing this, when you're extending it, you want to make sure that when you get ready to put them together on your spine, that you're matching up this line with the middle line of your spine so it doesn't crack or be at an odd place when you're adding your cardstock to the front. Alright, now that that's adhered, I have a long piece of which to work with, and now I'm just going to add my pieces of cardstock. So I don't want to line up my spine with this line in the front. I want to turn it over and kind of get a peek at where the back line is, because that's the line that I want to add up together. So it's about here. There's about an inch or so past that line, because I used 2 pieces of 1/2 inch double tape, so that's about where it is. So I'm going to try to center this 2-inch spine about where that is, leaving some room at the bottom to fold it over. So I want to adhere that down, and then I'm going to adhere down my 2 side pieces, which again are cut at 5 by 7. And this is heavyweight chipboard that came inside the kit. And I'm going to leave about a 1/8, it's in between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch space in between the 2 pieces. And I am going to do the same thing for the other side. This tape is easy to peel off. That's why I love it. Okay. So, and I'm eyeballing. You can feel free to make like a little shim to get it perfect, but I think I do okay. So that's that. I want to make sure these get nice and adhered. So then now I'm just going to trim off the excess. So I like to leave about 1 inch or so around the border to be able to cut it off and fold it over without any problems. this cardstock is pretty sturdy. You can just hear how thick it is. Okay. So now I'm just going to miter these corners. And then I'm going to fold them over. Make sure that's nice and good here. I'm going to take my bone folder quick and score like the perimeter of this paper, just so I can just lightly, you know, give it a good run across so that it can fold over, break a little bit of those fibers up. I'm not pressing really hard. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and miter that. Now how I do that is I don't usually use a ruler, but I want to show you. I know you guys may have seen this before. I just want to cut off a triangle, but I want to leave a little bit of a gap so that I can fold it over neatly. So where the two ends intersect, so you have one end here and one end here, you want to go a little bit past that corner and draw a little line. And that is where you want to cut your edge. See, like so. So I'm going to take my scissors and go ahead and trim that down. If you're uncertain, always trim more. You can always trim it down a little bit. But if you go too deep in, then you're pretty much at a loss. Better safe than sorry. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And then we did some pre-folding, so you just want to take that paper over and give it a good roll over. We kind of went over it with the score tool. Before we add our tape. Alright, so now I'm just going to go in and cut a space down here so that when I do go in with my tape and fold it over, there's not a bulky gap in between. So I'm just cutting a little triangle down here where the space is, but not going past the score mark, because then you'll start to see the chipboard. So just go right up to it to just relieve some of that bulk that's right there. Okay. So now I am just going to add my double-sided tape. Now if you find that you did not cut the corners deep enough, you can always go back. You can always tuck them in too if you want. So we'll see if I left enough space for this to sit nicely. You can, like I said, you can always go back and fix it. Alright, so I am just going to fold that in and take my bone folder, give it a good press. Do the same thing for the opposite side. Perfect. And do my middle pieces. It's no certain order. This is just the way that I do them. And I like to pull that in so that corner is nice and crisp. Alright. This is what you should have. So you can see the neat corners. And then you want to slowly fold it over so you can have a nice, clean, crisp book. So now I'm going to add some paper in the middle to cover up this board here. So that's 6 7/8 like that. And then I'm going to add double-sided tape. Okay, so adhere this to this. Now be careful of where you want this to lay, because once it goes down, that puppy is down. Go over it a little bit. And then I'm also going to take my bone folder and follow this crease lightly to help it close a little bit. Just a smidge. And then this one. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. So we're going to set that aside for a second, and we're going to work on our hinge. Now I've already done my hinge for this book. That's going to fit perfectly inside here, just like so. It's the hidden hinge binding, but I'm going to show you. I don't have but 3 hinges, which works for me because my photos, I will be making little inserts, so it's not just going to be 3 photos. You'll have 3 signatures, and they'll be able to fit quite a few photos for this book here. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this. See, I've added lots of tape on each of the rows in the back. Okay. Again, pay attention to where you're laying your piece, because yeah, once it's down here, the spuddy's down here. There we go. It's down. We have the 3 hinges on there. Really cute. Nice, sturdy. Things are really sturdy here. So I'm going to show you how to make that really quick. Super easy. So don't be alarmed. I'm going to do it on white cardstock. Because I don't need another blue one, and I don't want to waste any more of that cardstock. You're going to cut a piece of paper, whatever your binding color is going to be. So you want your pattern paper to be 8 by 7. And on the 8-inch side, you're going to make the following score marks. You're going to do 1 score at 1/2 inch. Okay? 1/2. And then 1.5. And then 2.5. And then 3. Then 4. Then 5. Then 5.5. Then 6.5. And lastly 7.5. Alright. Still keeping it on that 8-inch side. I'm going to grab an ink pen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so we're not, this is the 1/2 inch mark. We're going to skip that. We're going to skip this one. Okay, and then this peak here is the middle peak. That is the portion that's going to be sticking up. So that's what you want to fold up. So you're going to skip the first one, fold this one, pointing upwards. Just like that. I'm going to crease it. So you got that folded up. Now you just want to, the next one matches up evenly, so you want to just pinch that. And quite naturally, this one's going to fold down, so you don't have to do anything with that. And take your bone folder and press it over. So now you should have something that looks like that. That's your first pinch. See? 1, 2, 3. Down, up, down. Smoosh them together. Okay? I'm going to add some glue on, there's 2 pieces. There's a skinny piece here, and then there's 2 fat ones. You want to add some double-sided tape to one of the fat sides. I just added a strip of glue because I'm not using this. And then you want to attach that together so it looks like this. Okay? That takes care of the first 3 score marks. Alright, so this next one, you're going to, that's going to be the beginning, just like this one here, the beginning of the next insert. So we're going to skip this next one here, and then this is your peak, and then again your last piece. So we're going to fold that middle one upwards. There's your bone folder. And then that, pinch it together. And just fold it over and give it a nice crease. So that's your piece. So that's your next 3 pieces. See, 1, 2, 3, down, up, down. That's going to be pinched together. Flip it over, add some tape to one of the chunkier sides so they can adhere together, just like so. Skip this next one. This is your top, your peak, and that is your down, your valley. So down, up, down again. That's the last one. Fold that middle one up. Use my bone folder. And again, pinch them together. Give it a crease. Add adhesive to one of the chunky sides. Fold them together. So now your bottom half should look like 4 pieces. And then you want to add double-sided tape for the length of all of these pieces. And when you flip it over, you should have 3 stand-alone strips. Just like that. And then that is what fits on your 2-inch spine. Easy peasy, right? Alright, so do that and then come back. Alright, now it's time to work on our signature pieces, and I've already done one of them so far. Super cute is this cute little boxed accordion pocket. Adorable. You can hold a lot of photos in there. And let me show you how to create it. So you'll need to cut out a few pieces here. So you need 2 pieces cut out for the accordion pieces. It's 2 by 4.5. And you'll need 2 of those, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. And you're going to do that to both sides. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and burnish that with your bone folder according to how the score marks are. Give it another complete press, and then you want to make sure that it's even. If you have any overage or if you slipped on the bone folder, just go ahead and cut off the excess. Unless it's too much, then you just would do it over. So you have your 2 pieces, and then you want to take some double-sided tape, and with the valleys, or with the heels pointing upward, you want to add tape to the edge on this left side, or this side, and turn around and add it to the edge of the right side. And you want to do the same thing to the other accordion piece. This one and that one. Okay, that's done. And then you want to cut up a piece at 7 by 4 3/4. And we're going to leave that like it is. And then the last piece is cut at 7 3/4 by 8. Okay, and on the 8-inch side, you want to score at a 1/2 inch on both sides. And then on the 7 3/4 inch side, you want to score at 4 3/4, and then at 5, and then 7 1/4. Okay, that's it for that. So you want to go ahead and fold over all those score marks. Give them a good press with your bone folder. And then lastly, the sides. And here. Okay. So at this point, you want to take your scissors and at the score marks where they meet, go ahead and slice that. And we're not cutting it off, but we're going to add a little triangle to the outer sides so that we can fold those over nicely. Let me show you here. So that's what I did. See? And then we want to do it the same for up here. Only this time we want to cut at the score mark, do the triangle, and then we're going to cut the outside of that one like that. Okay, slip to the other side, cut the slits, make a little triangle, cut the slit, make a little sliver out of that so that they can fold over nicely. Let me show you what that looks like. It's just really tiny slivers. And then here, cut it, and then we're going to miter this corner off like that. And then we also want to make the little slivers so they fold over nicely and reduce the bulk. Okay, so that's how that should look. Now you can use wet glue. I am going to use this art glitter, dries clear, and I'm going to add just a smidge and fold that over. Okay, something weird just happened with the computer, so I want to make sure I'm still recording. Okay, fold that over, and then this is coming out pretty fast, so I think I'm going to be a light hand on that. And then you want to go ahead and do this second half. Fold that over and do the same thing. You can use hot glue for this, or you can use ATG tape. I'm doing this because I want a crisp fold over edge. I don't want it to, when I'm laying my signatures down, I don't want it to be a rough edge. So I want it to look clean and finished. Okay. Seems like this glue is drying really fast. Faster than any other, that other Aztec glue I use. And I'm not a big fan of wet glue because I'm impatient, but as you can see, it's sealing down and drying quite nicely. I just got to worry about my heavy hand that I have. So I want to make sure that I get this piece in there as well as that piece. Fold that over. Just like that. Awesome. And then last, this is a bit bulkier. I'm going to add double-sided tape to the top of this one. Okay, and then fold that over. So look at this. When you fold down on your signature, look how crisp and clean that edge looks. Looks like you wrapped up a mini album or something. Love it. Love it, love it. So that's that. We're going to save our pocket for the end after we've layered our pattern paper. But it's going to go on the back, and you'll see in a second. So let's go ahead and add our flanges. Not flanges, these accordion pieces. I'm going to take this one off, grab my paper that is 7 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to add this flange to the side starting at the bottom. It is not going to go all the way to the top. I cut it a little bit shorter, reduce the bulk, and I'm going to add this flange to the side starting at the bottom. Alright, and then this is how that should look. It's going to pull out like so. Just like that. Okay. Then we're going to go back over here and add this to what we just created. I'm going to take off my accordion pieces, and I'm going to line that up starting at the bottom. Do one side at a time. I'm just going to start at the bottom here, make sure that's lined up to the edge. Give that a crease, and then do the same thing for this one. Perfect. How easy that is. Bing and bing. So this is going to fold down like that. And we're going to add pattern paper to cover that up. See how clean that looks? Love it. So we're going to, oh, just a side note, this one here, that's the pocket, it's going to go on the back here, just like so. But we want to add pattern paper to that first. So just make these 3 and then set them aside, so that when you get to it, you'll be ready to go. Now, to add these to your book, you want to add, you can add some double-sided tape if you want to both sides. I'm going to add this wet glue. Sometimes I find when I'm doing the flanges and I'm adding double-sided tape that if it doesn't adhere, the paper gets kind of sticky in there, which is, you know, if you let it stick and you adhere and let it sit for a little bit, it should be okay. But I'm going to try it with this wet glue and see how it turns out. So, and plus it provides a thin strip where I can maximize the amount of space that I have in my book. So this first part, I am going to add double-sided tape, because there will be no paper going on this side, because it's going to be the foundation for holding the signature. So you won't need to stick any paper on this side. It's going to be completely adhered to the paper. So I'm filling up the entire flange here with the double-sided tape. See? And then for this side, I'm going to add that bead of glue. But first, while you guys were away, I cut off the piece. So cut off like a little sliver on both sides, just so it'll be easier to drop this in, and it won't be a perfect fit, and you'll be trying to squeeze it on. If you miter the edges a little bit, look how easy that goes on. So that's what I did. So I'm going to add this tiny bead of glue at the very bottom, very close to that bottom edge. And then the front is already adhered with adhesive. So I'm going to open that up and slide it in. I'm adhering it to the front first. Stand it up straight. And then I'm going to close it. Making sure that's on there real good. That's the double-sided tape side. And then this side is the wet glue, but it will hold, you will be able to add your 4x6 photo in here, or your 4x6 photos. So let me get a piece of paper. Let's cut down to 4x6 so you guys can see. So this is the 4x6. We're going to do a little folder insert, but just so you can see, this will slide right in there perfectly. So we're going to do 4.5 by, or 4.25 by 6.25, so that we can have a full 4x6 in here, but that fits right in there just nicely. So that's what that looks like. Super cute. Now we're going to close this with some Velcro. You can use a string tie. You can use magnets. You can use chipboard to kind of weigh it down so it'll just close on its own. But I'm going to make one more pocket and then I will be back. Okay, now that I have that all done, we're going to work on what's going to fit on the inside. So we're going to make this cute little booklet, and you can hold 4x6 photos, because this is 4.25 by 6.25. So you can put a little photo mat and then add your full 4x6 photos. So you can put a photo 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can put one on the back 5. You can even put one on the front 6, but you can definitely hold 5. So there's 15 photos in here so far that you can put into this book. Now you can always add a smaller insert because it fits in here with some room, of course, right now, but after you add the photos, there'll be a little bit less room. But see, you still have, it'll be a little bit bulkier, but you can at least put your 15 photos in this book. Okay, so let's make this really easy booklet. So you'll need one piece of cardstock cut out at 11 by 6 1/4, and then you'll need another piece cut out at 6 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we're going to work on this big one here. And on the 11-inch side, we're going to score at 4 1/4, and then 8 1/2, 4 1/4, 8 1/2, and then we're going to fold over those marks. Really easy. And then there's this little piece here sticking out. We're just going to punch that edge. You don't have to, but I'm going to make a decorative edge on this end just to add some pizzazz to it. And this is a 1/2 inch. This will leave a 1/2 inch shorter, but it's only to be used to close or to add a little closure piece to this booklet. But again, you don't have to do this part at all. You could just leave it blank or even use it for a smaller photo. So I'm just going to punch that. Okay. Alright, and there we go with that. Super easy. Get my bone folder and give it a good crease. Make sure it's nice and even. And then we're going to take that other piece that's 6 1/4 by 4 3/4, and on the 4 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 4 1/4, just like so. Fold that over, give that a crease, and then we're going to add some adhesive to the inside, or let's see, on the outside here. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch double-sided tape. Okay, and then we're going to open up this booklet, and then we're just going to sit that in here. I like to line it up with this top edge so that we can know at least that it'll fit the photo. Fold that down perfectly, and then you want to make sure that you give it another crease. You know, you're constantly creasing because you're adding bulk to it. So you want to make sure you got a nice and even, flat booklet, and it opens up super cute. Now what you're going to do is add pattern paper to this booklet, and it's going to look super cute. So make 3 of those and then insert them into each of the pockets. Alright, to make the pockets, you'll need 3 pieces cut at 5 1/2 by 4, and we're going to score that a 1/2 inch on each side. So I've already done that, but I'm going to show you. So on the 5 1/2 inch side, you want to score at 5. You want to flip it, score at 3 1/2, flip it, and score again at 5. Okay? And then your cover piece is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you want to fold over all your score marks and give it a good crease, like so. And then your paper would fit perfectly just like that. So to miter your corners, you have to just cut off where they intersect. So this line and this line intersect. You just want to cut off at an angle, just like so, on both of the bottom sides. Easy peasy. And then you want to go ahead and add your adhesive and layer the top of your pocket. So you want to do that 3 times. This concludes part 1, the construction of the Prima Saint Tropez Mixed Media album, a guest design team project for Country Craft Creations. Please stay tuned for part 2, where we will put the rest of the album together and decorate the cover. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check all the links in the description box for more information mentioned in this and previous videos. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.